Invincible+Notre Dame+Decisive Assassination+System. Fang Wuheng started his journey and became a disciple of Xuanling Sect. Unexpectedly, he had just crossed over and was falsely accused of being an undercover agent of the Demon Sect, and was expelled from the sect. Fortunately, the system is turned on. 3 years later, Fang Wutrace's strength has reached an incredible level. When Fang Wuchen returned to Xuanling Sect again, he found that the person who falsely accused him in the past could have been killed with one sword long ago. Many years later, the heavenly mysterious domain began to be turbulent, and Fang Wuhen's sword quelled all the troubles and became the strongest in this world. Chapter 1. Killing Evil for 3 years. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Tianxian Domain, the Great Xia Dynasty. Outside Xuanling Sect, stepping on the spirit town. Xu Wuheng stood on the street holding a sword. He kept his gaze fixed, not far ahead. Suddenly, in front of him, a black shadow flashed past. It is a mischievous creature about 2 meters tall, feeling the constant vitality within the town and showing a greedy gaze. If all the people in this town are slaughtered thoroughly, his demonic energy will increase many times. Shoo. However, it is not yet time for it to take action. Fang Wutrace has already locked him in. A bright sword light suddenly flashed by. What? This evil spirit instinctively wants to dodge. But this sword light is incredibly fast. The sword light passed in an instant. Along with the sword light dissipated, there was also the evil effect just now. Killed another evil force. Fang Wuchen put away his sword and skillfully wiped the body before putting it back into the scabbard. In these 3 years, I don't know how many evil spirits died under his sword. He was originally just a disciple of Xuanling Sect, but by chance, he accidentally stumbled upon a senior brother in the sect colluding with people from the Demon Sect. What Fang Wutrace didn't expect was that senior brother's master is a sect elder. Under his prosecution, he instead accused Fang Wuchen of colluding with the people of the Demon Sect. So the elders of the sect ordered Fang Wuchen to be exiled to Tailing Town. Treading Spirit Town is full of evil, even highly cultivated cultivators dare not stay here for a long time. Fang Wuchen was originally thinking of waiting to die. However, at that time, Fang Wutrace successfully opened the system. With the help of the system, he can clearly see any weaknesses of the enemy. Over the years, Fang Wutrace has not been killed by evil forces. On the contrary, it basically cleaned up the evil forces around here. Just as Fang Wutrace withdrew his sword and planned to leave. At this moment, not far away, several figures came. It's getting late, let's rest here for the night and return to our sect tomorrow. A young girl said to the people next to her. They are dressed in purple clothes, all of which are the costumes of Xuanling Sect. Obviously, I have just completed the mission of the sect and plan to report back to the sect. And the girl who just spoke is obviously the leader among them. Although she looks young, her cultivation is undoubtedly the highest among several people. At this moment, several people quickly noticed Fang Wutrace. Fang Wuchen, like them, was also wearing the clothes of Xuanling Sect. So it's very easy to identify. Strange, I can still meet my fellow disciples in this territory. The girl blinked her eyes and looked towards Fang Wumian with some curiosity. Obviously, she is very curious about Fang Wutrace. Luoling Jr.'s sister is somewhat unaware. As far as I know, a disciple of Xuanling Sect was exiled to this realm a few years ago because he colluded with the Demon Sect. If what I expected was correct, that person was the one who colluded with the Demon Sect at that time. Beside Luoling, a young man in his 20s shook his head lightly. With a smile on his face, he looked towards the prescription without any trace. Obviously, he knows some things about Fang Wutrace. How could this be happening? Luoling blinked her eyes, a little skeptical. Junior sister, it's normal not to know that you entered the sect late. Lin Yibai said slowly. At this moment, Fang Wutrace also felt several gazes focused on him. He turned around and looked at Luo Ling and others. He naturally recognized the identity of the other person at a glance. However, Fang Wuchen's gaze did not linger on Luo Ling and others for too long. However, at this moment, Luo Ling strode towards the direction without a trace. Although Lin Yibai has already reminded her. But she had a feeling in her heart. The handsome and harmless young man in front of me doesn't seem to be capable of colluding with the Demon Sect. If the other party really colluded with the Demon Sect, then they should have left this place long ago. It is impossible for oneself to see Fang Wutrace here. As he approached Fang Wuchen, Luo Ling immediately smiled and said to him, "Senior brother, I have heard that there are many powerful evil forces in this place. If there is any more evil appearing tonight, we can work together to deal with it." Faced with Luo Ling's sudden approach to speak, Fang Wuchen also didn't expect it. However, he waved his hand and said, "That's not necessary. There are basically no more evil spirits around here." Luo Ling looked at Fang Wutrace with some surprise. Although this place belongs to the Xuanling Sect, it is not far from the Yuma Sect after all. Even the elders of Xuanling Sect had intended to suppress the evil forces in the vicinity before. But it will definitely be disturbed by the Demon Sect. So evil spirits breed here year-round. But the senior brother in front of me actually said that there is no more evil here. Do you think this senior brother has any powerful means to suppress all the evil forces in this place? Sister Luo, there's no need to waste your breath with someone who colludes with the Demon Sect. Who knows if what he said is true or false? At this moment, Lin Mubai and several other disciples of Xuanling Sect walked over. When he saw that senior sister Luo Ling had taken the initiative to greet Fang Wutrace, he felt very unhappy in his heart. A person who was exiled to this place by the sect dares to speak so shamelessly. Fang Wuchen glanced at Lin Yibai. Lin Yibai knows him, and he naturally knows Lin Yibai as well. 3 years ago, the senior brother who colluded with the elder to falsely accuse Fang Wuchen was none other than Lin Yibai's brother. Ding, it has been detected that this person is surrounded by a lot of magical energy, and the host needs to act carefully. At the moment when Fang Wutrace's gaze locked onto Lin Yibai, the secret about Lin Yibai's body was also fully revealed by Fang Wutrace. The other party practiced magic skills and absorbed a large amount of magic energy. Although it is covered up, it cannot escape the detection of the system. Lin Yibai, like his brother, also colluded with the Imperial Demon Sect. Even practiced the techniques of the Demon Sect. However, Luo Ling and several disciples of the Xuanling Sect who accompanied him were unaware of this matter. Luo Ling junior sister, he is someone who has colluded with the Demon Sect before. Maybe he can live to this day because he is also colluding with the evil forces around here. Lin Yibai sneered at Fang Wuchen. You're right, how could an ordinary Xuanling Sect disciple have lived in a place full of evil for so long? Perhaps Fang Wutrace had colluded with the evil forces, otherwise he would have died in the hands of the evil forces long ago. The accompanying disciples of Xuanling Sect also nodded in agreement. Seeing other disciples of Xuanling Sect all agree with their own views, Lin Yibai couldn't help but sneer again in his heart. Only he knew that Fang Wuchen was framed, but he just wanted to see her despised by her fellow disciples. In this way, the identities of myself and my brother can continue to be perfectly hidden. With a slight glance at Fang Wuheng, Lin Yibai's voice became even more high-profile. Junior brothers, Fang Wuheng had colluded with the people of the Demon Sect in the past. Now it is colluding with evil forces again. If this person is not eliminated, it will be a great disaster for Xuanling Sect. Why don't I kill him today? It can be considered as killing the sect, brother Lin, you. Luo Ling didn't expect that Lin Yibai wanted Fang Wutrace's life in just a few words. I can't help but feel a bit anxious. Is that all you have in Chapter 2? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Luo Ling wouldn't have thought that Lin Yibai wanted to kill Fang Wutrace. I just want Fang Wuchen to leave this world forever with the secret of his collusion with his brother. With just a few words, he almost stirred up the emotions of all the disciples of Xuanling Sect present. Oh, you're just as shameless as your brother. Fang Wuchen was not angered by Lin Bai's words. On the contrary, I find it very funny. 3 years ago, when I first traveled to this world, my strength is still too weak. So when faced with such framing, there was no strength to resist. But now that I have killed the evil spirits for 3 years, I have used these evil spirits to climb many levels. In addition, with the help of the system, Lin Bai is just one person, and he doesn't even take it seriously. Fang Wuchen, today I will exterminate the sect and kill you here. After Lin Bai finished speaking, he directly took out the sword from his waist. Anyway, today I'll let you see who is truly colluding with the Demon Sect. Fang Wuchen smiled indifferently, ignoring Lin Bai at all. Ding, did the host choose to expel the demonic energy from Lin Bai's body? At this point, the system has already given Fang Wutrace an option. Fang Wuchen agreed without hesitation. In the moment when Fang Wutrace made a choice, suddenly, waves of demonic energy enveloped the surroundings. At this moment, Lin Bai's whole body was suddenly covered by a demonic aura. Even on his sword, there was a lot of demonic energy entangled. What's going on? Why did senior brother Lin suddenly have so much more demonic energy on him? Luoling was the first to react. She instinctively distanced herself from Lin Bai. Senior brother Lin, you. Don't. The other disciples of Xuanling Sect who had not had time to react suddenly became entangled in Lin Bai's demonic aura. In the last second, they were very certain that Fang Wuheng was colluding with the Emperor Demon Sect. But the next second, instead, Lin Bai burst out with demonic energy. What's going on? Lin Bai's face instantly turned extremely pale. He found himself unable to suppress the demonic energy inside his body. I should have taken the opportunity to kill Fang Wuchen, but why did I expose myself first? Several disciples of Xuanling Sect were stunned by this sudden scene. Only Luoling remained calm. Are you the one who caused this? Lin Bai is quite a smart person, he knows that his demonic energy cannot explode without reason. Is it what Fang Wutrace did? Fang Wuchen didn't look at the Xuanling Sect disciples who had previously questioned him. I just said lightly, I have killed more evil creatures than you have ever seen. Do you have any demonic energy on you? Can't I see it yet? Upon hearing these words, Lin Bai was completely scared. What kind of monster is Fang Wutrace in front of me? It was so easy to expose my well-hidden demonic energy. Moreover, from beginning to end, Lin Bai did not know what method Fang Wuheng had used. Ding, Lin Bai has already shown his timidity. If the host needs to kill him, only 3 successful powers are needed. Ding, after the host kills Lin Bai, they can replicate Lin Bai's skill. Mixed Heaven Demon Skill. The system sends a prompt. Fang Wuchen's gaze turned back to Lin Bai, whose body was unconsciously trembling. Obviously, I was extremely afraid. So timid, did you dare to collude with the Demon Sect back then? Fang Wuchen chuckled lightly, but didn't say much nonsense. But he directly drew his sword and chopped towards Lin Bai. This sword is not too many, just 3 successful powers. No. Lin Bai's face turned pale as he was about to use his magic skill to resist. But I found out that I couldn't resist this sword. Fang Wuchen has been killing the evil spirit here for 3 years, and his strength is already very terrifying. Even though Lin Bai has practiced magic skills, his strength is still inferior to Fang Wutrace. With this sword, Lin Bai had completely died. The demonic energy around dissipated instantly at this moment. At this moment, Luoling and other disciples of the Xuanling Sect were completely surprised. With just one move, Fang Wuchen killed the powerful Lin Bai. What kind of strength is this? Lin Yibai has a cultivation level in the later stage of building foundations. In addition, due to the cultivation of magic skills, the strength can completely match the cultivation in the early stages of the Golden Core realm. Congratulations on killing Lin Yibai and successfully replicating the skill, Hun Tian Mo Gong. At this point, the system's reward has also been credited. At this moment, Fang Wuchen also felt the change in his internal cultivation. Lin Yibai and others spared no expense in betraying their sect in order to cultivate the martial arts, and thus were given by Fang Wuchen. Fang. Senior brother Fang. At that moment, Luo Ling spoke up. She looked at Fang Wuchen, her gaze completely different from before. There was not only a hint of awe in his gaze, but also a lot of admiration. What's wrong? Fang Wuchen looked at Luo Ling and asked. I heard that senior brother Fang was expelled by the sect for colluding with the Demon Sect. But now there is another person colluding with the Demon Sect. Can senior brother Fang also return to the Xuanling Sect? Luo Ling suddenly asked. Upon hearing this, Fang Wuchen looked at the body of Lin Yibai on the ground. In fact, he had already had the intention of leaving here before. In the 3 years I have been here, most of the evil forces have been killed by Fang Wutrace. Of course, Fang Wuchen also had the intention of returning to Xuanling Sect. Of course, the reason why he wants to return to Xuanling Sect is not because he has the identity of a disciple of Xuanling Sect. But I want to get rid of the people who framed him in the first place. Thinking of this, Fang Wuchen nodded and said, I really should go back to Xuanling Sect. That's just right. Tomorrow we will also return to Xuanling Sect, and senior brother Fang happens to be with us. A smile immediately appeared on Luo Ling's face. At this moment, others have no objections and all agree. The next day. After packing their luggage briefly, Luo Ling and others left the town with Fang Wuchen. The town is only half a day's journey away from Xuanling Sect. After returning to Xuanling Sect, Luo Ling and others went straight back to report. The news that Lin Yibai was beheaded by Fang Wuheng was also truthfully reported by Luo Ling. You say Lin Yibai is the one who colluded with the Demon Sect, and Fang Wuheng was framed from beginning to end. A middle-aged woman dressed in white looked at Luo Ling with some surprise. Luo Ling nodded very seriously and said, at that time, Lin Yibai clearly had a lot of demonic energy appearing on his body. If it weren't for senior brother Fang, I'm afraid everyone present would have died in Lin Yibai's hands. This is strange. After listening to Luo Ling's words, Ziyun was also puzzled. This is really unbelievable. However, she still trusts her disciple very much. Regarding what Luo Ling told herself, Ziyun will also truthfully report to the sect leader. Chapter 3. How dare you do this? You are listening at novelfull.audio. These days, Fang Wuheng has been locked up in the cave. For the heavenly demon technique, Fang Wuchen has gained some understanding. It's strange that Lin Yibai and his companions are willing to betray the sect and collude with the Demon Sect to obtain the heavenly demon technique. No one can resist the temptation of such an improvement. Fang Wumian's face showed a smile. With the blessing of the heavenly demon technique, his strength has become increasingly terrifying. During this period, the news of Fang Wuheng returning to Xuanling Sect is not particularly important. However, the incident of Lin Yibai's death caused a sensation in the sect. Especially when the disciples of Xuanling Sect learned that Lin Yibai had exposed all his magical skills before his death. It even triggered a wave of panic. However, Fang Wuheng didn't take these things very seriously. Another day has passed. Fang Wuchen decided to end the seclusion. At this moment, a girl in purple came to the outside of Fang Wutrace cave, carrying a basket. Sister Luo Ling, what's up? Seeing the girl in purple outside the cave, Fang Wuheng recognized her at a glance. This girl in purple is exactly the Luo Ling she met a few days ago in Tailing Town. I heard that senior brother Fang has been in seclusion since he returned to the sect. So I came specifically to see senior brother Fang. Luo Ling said with a smile. She expressed understanding for Fang Wutrace's actions. After all, he killed Lin Yibai before returning to the sect. Although within the sect, Lin Yibai's brother dared not openly trouble Fang Wutrace. But it's better to avoid some. Fang Wuchen did not see the thoughts in Luo Ling's heart. He looked at the basket in Luo Ling's hand and then at Luo Ling. Ah! I almost forgot. Here are some spiritual elixirs for cultivation, which my master specifically instructed me to give to you. Sister Luo Ling put down the things in the basket and said. What is inside are all precious cultivation resources. Since joining the Xuanling Sect, Fang Wuchen has never seen such precious materials. But now, just to visit him, Luo Ling has taken out such precious cultivation resources. It's really a bit generous to make a move. Without any courtesy, Fang Wuchen accepted all these cultivation materials. By the way, senior brother Fang, there's one more thing. Seeing Fang Wutrace accepting these cultivation resources, Luo Ling suddenly said again. What else is there? Fang Wutrace inquired. He knew that Elder Ziyan would not give him cultivation resources for no reason. Master wants to invite you to come and visit. It is said that after you killed Lin Yibai, it caused a lot of anger among people. These days, Master Zun has helped to suppress this matter, but there are still some things that you need to personally go to, Luo Ling explained. She not only came to see Fang Wutrace, but also came with the task of her master. Line. Fang Wuchen nodded. Since he had received the other party's gift, let's go see Luo Ling's master ourselves. Senior brother Fang, come with me. Luo Ling immediately said. Xuanhuan Hall. This was originally the place where Elder Ziyan lived. However, at this moment, there were several unfamiliar faces added. One of them is the current leader of Xuanling Sect. Lu Chongling. The other few people were all dressed in the attire of elders. Elder Ziyan looked at the few people with some helplessness in his heart. Since a few days ago, she has reported everything about Fang Wutrace to the sect leader. The sect leader has developed a great interest in the other party Wumian. He also wants to see Fang Wutrace. Among the elders, an older one had a somewhat unattractive expression on his face. Over the years, he has received several disciples in total, including Lin Yibai and Lin Yichen, Lin Yibai's brother. Now that Lin Yibai has been killed by Fang Wuchen, his heart naturally becomes very angry. And more importantly, after Fang Wuheng killed Lin Yibai's magic skills were completely exposed. He is Lin Yibai's master, and this matter is highly likely to threaten him. If given the opportunity, he must kill Fang Wuchen. In this way, we can completely eradicate the grass and roots. In no time, two figures entered the main hall. For a moment, everyone's gaze focused on the two of them. More precisely, everyone is watching one of the young people. It's just Fang Wuheng and Luo Ling. After bringing Fang Wutrace to the Xuanhuan Hall, Luo Ling came directly to Ziyan's body. Master, I have invited senior brother Fang over. But why are there so many people here? Even the sect leader is present. Luo Ling scratched her head and asked, somewhat puzzled. When Master asked her to invite senior brother Fang before, she didn't mention that so many people would come. I'm also very helpless, Ziyan smiled bitterly and spread her hand. The sect leader wants to see a disciple, but she has no right to refuse. Fang Wuchen glanced slightly at the crowd in the main hall. Although there are not many people in the main hall, everyone's position in the Xuanling Sect is not simple. If it were just an ordinary disciple seeing so many important figures at once. I'm afraid I've already given a big gift, hoping to give these people a good first impression. However, Fang Wuchen was an exception. He still stood in the main hall and gave a faint glance at the patriarch Lu Chongling sitting on the throne. There is no intention of bowing. Bold and unrestrained, how dare you be so arrogant when you see the sect leader and all the elders? At this moment, an old and slightly majestic voice shouted angrily. The person reprimanding is none other than Lin Yibai's master, Elder Li Yu. As soon as these words were spoken, the whole hall was whispering. However, the attitude is also very obvious, that is, Fang Wutrace's actions are too disrespectful to them. Make them not very happy. Patriarch Lu Chongling was still very calm, but he didn't speak at this moment. Fang Wuchen glanced at Elder Li Yu and said, "Old master, I remember you. If it weren't for you 3 years ago, how could I have been expelled from the sect? Now that I have just returned to my sect, are you ready to make things difficult for me?" Fang Wuchen's tone was very disdainful. As for asking him to bow to the elder who expelled him from the sect. Dream it, right? As soon as these words were spoken, Li Yu's face immediately turned ugly. Is it okay for Fang Wuchen to be impolite, and even publicly insult him? What does this make of his face? Master, a disciple who is so arrogant is wasting a huge amount of resources from the sect to cultivate. Such a person is simply unworthy of the cultivation of the sect, he is simply a white-eyed wolf. I think we should depose this person and then expel the sect, Li Yu said to Lu Chongling. Lu Chongling's gaze was profound, and he certainly knew what Li Yu meant. Yu's disciple died in the hands of Fang Wuheng before, so he longed for Fang Wuheng to die. Defeat Fang Wuchen and then expel him from the sect. This is undoubtedly a very malicious punishment. Fang Wuchen has killed many evil spirits, if he doesn't have any cultivation. So, I'm afraid as soon as he leaves the sect, there will be many evil forces trying to kill him. Chapter 4. Do you also deserve me to bow? You are listening at novelfull.audio. When did the sect cultivate me? At this moment, Fang Wuchen shook his head, as if he had heard some funny joke. I have been in the sect for so many years, not only have I not been trained by the sect, but I have also been expelled from the sect. I can have my current strength all thanks to myself. Fang Wuchen's tone was very reasonable and resolute, and he did not receive any favor from the sect. On the contrary, when he was expelled from the sect, he almost died at the hands of evil forces. Anyway, you are ultimately a disciple of Xuanling Sect. When you encounter elders and sect leaders, you must kneel down and salute. Li Yu said coldly, if you don't want to kneel and bow, then I can only take action to destroy your cultivation. Fang Wuchen did not speak again at this moment, but opened the system. In just a few seconds, information about Li Yu came out. Ding, after system testing, Li Yu is identified as the elder of Xuanling Sect. Although possessing the cultivation of the golden elixir realm, the body has been in long-term deficit. Resulting in insufficient essence and blood, the body has long been in a state of decline compared to its peak. The cultivation level is artificially high. Listening to the system identify Li Yu's weaknesses, Fang Wuchen couldn't help but smile. Originally, the cultivation of the other party was not as high as I imagined. Suddenly, a fierce palm wind howled. Li Yu made a move. He came today with the mentality of killing Fang Wutrace. Now that Fang Wutrace has just arrived at the main hall, he looks down upon no one. So, then his actions will be even more straightforward. Even if Fang Wuchen was killed in public, I believe no one would be so critical. Be careful, senior brother Fang. Upon seeing this scene, Luo Ling felt extremely anxious and quickly spoke out as a reminder. She didn't expect that Li Yu, as an elder of the sect, was very experienced and would even take action against a younger generation. The Grand Sect Elder, how could he have done such an shameful thing? This scene came too suddenly, even Ziyun and Lu Chongling wanted to stop it. It's also a bit late. No matter what, Fang Wutrace only has the cultivation of building a foundation. How can one avoid Li Yu's palm? However, in the face of Li Yu's surprise attack, Fang Wuchen did not make any evasive actions. His expression remained very calm. Li Yu's attack seemed dangerous, but for the other side, it was nothing. He still stands tall in the distance. Not only did he not dodge, but he chose to take his palm. Bang! The entire hall trembled at this moment. But a scene that surprised everyone happened. After taking Li Yu's palm, Fang Wuchen still stood in place, with a calm and composed demeanor. On the contrary, Li Yu flew backwards, with blood oozing from the corners of his mouth. Click. A crisp voice came, and Li Yu's face turned pale. His palm not only failed to pose any threat to the other party without any trace. On the contrary, the golden pill inside oneself has broken. Old Pifu, although you may appear to be in the realm of golden elixir, you have indulged yourself a lot in recent years. My cultivation is not as good as other elders, do you really think you can do anything about me? Fang Wuchen sneered. If it weren't for seeing through the opponent's strength from the beginning, Fang Wutrace wouldn't have been so confident. Puff. Li Yu spewed out another mouthful of blood. He was horrified. Why would it be oneself who has been deposed from cultivation, even though he was the one who took the initiative first? Now that his cultivation has been almost abolished, and the person who abolished his cultivation is still unharmed, how can he withstand this kind of stimulation? I fainted immediately. Fang Wuchen shrugged his shoulders, seemingly indifferent. Just now, he showed a little bit of his strength, which can be considered as telling the people in the hall. The reason why I don't bow to them is because I have the qualifications to challenge the elders. He looked at Elder Ziyun and ignored his surprised expression. Instead, Elder Ziyun spoke up. Elder Ziyun invited me not to see how I defeated Li Yu, right? After all, this time it was Ziyun who invited him to come. I just didn't expect to be threatened by Li Yu as soon as I stepped into the Xuanhuan hall. Of course not. Ziyun smiled bitterly and shook her head. Even she didn't expect the situation to develop to this extent. Her gaze turned to Lu Chongling. After all, this time it was mainly because Lu Chongling, the leader of the sect, wanted to see the side without any trace. Lu Chongling couldn't help but touch his nose and then said, Fang Wuheng, you are truly a disciple of the Xuanling Sect. You have such strength at a young age. No. Fang Wuchen shook his head and said, I have today's strength, and I don't have much connection with Xuanling Sect. His strength is all thanks to his own efforts and a little help from the system. It has little to do with Xuanling Sect. If Lu Chongling wants to link Fang Wutrace's cultivation with Xuanling Sect, Fang Wuchen will definitely deny it decisively. Upon hearing Fang Wuchen's words, Lu Chongling couldn't help but smile awkwardly. It seems that Fang Wuchen doesn't have much sense of belonging to Xuanling Sect. I don't know how the sect leader wants to handle today's matter. Looking at Lu Chongling, Fang Wuchen asked directly. Almost everyone in the hall looked at Lu Chongling and wanted to see how he would handle this matter today. Lu Chongling stood up and said sternly, although you injured Elder Li Yu today, ultimately, it's because Elder Li Yu first attacked you. You had no choice but to do it, that's why you hurt him, so naturally it's innocent. As soon as these words were spoken, the faces of the several elders present were somewhat surprised. In front of the high-level officials of Xuanling Sect, he publicly injured the sect elders. Now I'm not pursuing any responsibility. Since the other party is so magnanimous without any trace, my lord. I'm not referring to this. Fang Wuchen shook her head. What are you talking about? Lu Chongling frowned slightly. What I'm saying is that Li Yu, as an elder, indulges his disciples in colluding with the Demon Sect. Fang Wutrace slowly opened his mouth. This matter. Lu Chongling nodded. Don't worry, as an elder of the sect, Li Yu did not strictly manage his disciples, causing them to have dealings with the Demon Sect. Starting from today, all salaries of Li Yu will be cancelled and he will no longer be eligible to participate in the core affairs of the sect. Fang Wutrace, are you satisfied? Lu Chongling stroked his long beard and then asked. At this moment, Fang Wuchen nodded and no longer participated in the decision-making of the sect's core. This means that Li Yu has already been kicked out of the core circle. Even with the title of elder, it is still a false duty. Now his cultivation has almost been abolished, even ordinary disciples see Liu. He also has the right to provoke him, and his status will plummet compared to before. I'm afraid in no time, his elder title will also become a complete joke. In addition, if you have eliminated the hidden danger of Lin Bai's sect before, you will naturally receive a reward. Lu Chongling continued to speak. What is the treatment given to you as an elder in Chapter 5? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. I heard Lu Chongling say he wants to give himself some rewards. Fang Wuchen's face remained calm without any ripples. Lu Chongling continued, previously, I cancelled all of Elder Liu's salary. In order to make up for the debts that the sect has owed you over the years. Afterwards, all the salary that originally belonged to Elder Liu will be handed over to you. What do you think? What? All the elders present were shocked by the words of the sect leader. The salary of the sect elders has many precious cultivation resources. In just a few words, the patriarch gave an elder's salary to Fang Wutrace. If given to a disciple, these cultivation resources may not take much time to rise rapidly. It can be said that relying solely on these resources can lead to rapid growth. At this moment, even Xian's face was slightly shocked, and she couldn't imagine the leader being so magnanimous. Give the salary that originally belonged to the elder to a disciple. This is an unprecedented move. Why can the sect leader casually offer this condition to Fang Wutrace? Thank you, Patriarch. Fang Wutrace nodded slightly. At this moment, a smile appeared on his face. He was originally not interested in the rewards given by Lu Chongling. But unfortunately, Lu Chongling gave too much. An elder's salary cannot be refused by Fang Wutrace. Master, Fang Wuheng is just a disciple. Why should we give him the salary of an elder? I'm afraid this approach is not appropriate. After Fang Wuchen left, an elder couldn't help but ask. Of course I know it's not appropriate, but... Lu Chongling changed his tone and said, Fang Wutrace's record is really impressive. He was able to kill Lin Bai, who was practicing magic skills, in Tailing Town. Just now, he was able to seriously injure Elder Liu with a palm in the main hall. How could he be willing to stay in the Xuanling Sect if such strength cannot be given generous rewards? As soon as these words were spoken, the elders didn't know how to refute them. What the patriarch said is all facts. These days have passed quickly, but an explosive news has come from Xuanling Sect. Elder Liu's salary was cancelled by the sect leader due to his indulgence in his disciples colluding with the Imperial Demon Sect. Another piece of news is about a disciple named Fang Wutrace, who discovered in time that Lin Bai was colluding with the Imperial Demon Sect, to make great contributions to the sect. The sect leader personally ordered that in the future, the treatment of Wuji will be no different from that of ordinary elders. These two pieces of news are really shocking, and soon almost everyone in the entire Xuanling Sect was already aware of them. I didn't expect Elder Liu to be so tolerant of his disciples. It's simply a shame for the sect. Yeah, if no one discovers this, I'm afraid our Xuanling Sect will slowly be infiltrated by the Demon Sect. Speaking of which, this person named Fang Wuchen received such a generous reward just for killing Lin Bai. Nonsense, they timely prevented the infiltration of the Imperial Demon Sect into our Xuanling Sect, and it is only right for them to receive the current treatment. These days, many disciples have been discussing this matter. Not only about Liu being kicked out of the core circle of the sect. More people are still curious about the other party without any trace. What kind of person is it that deserves such attention from the sect? A few days later, Fang Wuchen, who came out of seclusion, felt that the sect had changed. He can immediately attract a lot of attention as he walks on the street. Many people looked at him as if whispering. But their eyes were filled with awe. They all know about Fang Wutrace. Nowadays, within the Xuanling Sect, Fang Wuheng is undoubtedly one of the most eye-catching disciples. At this time, inside an elder hall of Xuanling Sect. Master, I heard that you have been living a very miserable period of time. haven't you? A young man in white sat in the upper seat, playing with a short sword in his hand. But his gaze turned to the old man beside him. Although Li Yu is his master, now he is sitting in the upper seat. It seems that there is no regard for Master Li Yu at all. Yichen, that Fang Wutrace is really too strong, even I am not his opponent. Li Yu sighed helplessly. His tone was very humble, as if the one sitting there was not his disciple, but rather like his master. Moreover, Fang Wuchen had killed Yi Bai before, and it is said that even though Yi Bai has used all his magic skills, he is still not his opponent. Li Yu said helplessly. Although he appears to be Lin Yichen's master, behind the scenes, he appears to be Lin Yichen's servant. He showed great reverence towards Lin Yichen. I'm afraid that if I'm not careful, I'll make Lin Yichen unhappy. Fang Wutrace. There was a ripple on Lin Yichen's face. 3 years ago, he had already seen through my identity. I just didn't expect that after being expelled from the sect for 3 years, he not only returned to the sect. Even status has risen with the tide. Lin Yichen is clear. The reason why Fang Wuchen has his current position. It was obtained by stepping on his own brother's body and publicly defeating Li Yu. Anyway, Bai cannot die in vain. Before leaving Xuanling Sect, I must kill the curse of Fang Wuchen. Lin Yichen's lips outlined a gloomy smile. Yichen, if I remember correctly, it will be the 1000th year of the sect's establishment in a few days. At that time, the sect will organize a duel between disciples. You can take advantage of that and completely wipe out Fang Wutrace. Li Yu immediately suggested. Lin Yichen nodded. Then he looked at Li Yu again and said, "Don't worry, master. When you leave Xuanling Sect, I will take you with me." Upon hearing this, Li Yu couldn't help but show a surprise on his face. His current position in Xuanling Sect is very awkward, but if he can leave Xuanling Sect. If we were to invest elsewhere, we would have the identity of Master Lin Yichen. I believe that even if he leaves Xuanling Sect, he can still receive good treatment. Alright, you can step back. Looking at Li Yu, Lin Yichen waved his hand and said. Okay, Yichen, take a good rest these days. Li Yuishan smiled and then withdrew from the elders' hall. After Li Yu left, Lin Yichen's fake smile at the corner of his mouth immediately subsided. Yi Bai, I will avenge you. Lin Yichen spoke quietly. He will seek revenge from Fang Wutrace for his younger brother's revenge. At this point, he is waiting for the Millennium Grand Event of the sect to begin. At that time, we can take the opportunity to wipe out Fang Wutrace. If we could take advantage of the chaos and cause some trouble for Xuanling Sect, it would be even better. As for Li Yu's words, his cultivation has almost been abolished, and his status within the Xuanling Sect has greatly declined compared to before. Basically, it can be said that it is no longer useful. Such a waste, just discard it when the time comes. Chapter 6. The Grand Ceremony of the Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A few days later, the 1000-year celebration of Xuanling Sect was held as scheduled. Fang Wutrace remained as usual, and the days were very peaceful. If it weren't for Elder Ziyun sending Luo Ling to inform him, these days would be the day when the sect was established for 1000 years. I'm afraid Fang Wuchen is still unaware at this time. In recent days, the sect has not been very peaceful, and the 1000-year grand ceremony has attracted the attention of many disciples and elders. Chiming Peak is the largest mountain peak of Xuanling Sect. Nowadays, many people have gathered at Chiming Peak. The Millennium Grand Ceremony of Xuanling Sect is held here. Passing through the crowd, Fang Wutrace saw a notice board with a list posted from a distance. I heard that today we can challenge these senior brothers and sisters on the sect ranking list. Yes, as long as you successfully defeat the people on the leaderboard, you can directly be promoted to an elite disciple. It seems that we must give it a try today no matter what. I heard that elite disciples can receive 3 times more cultivation resources every month than ordinary disciples. Many people look at the list on the leaderboard and are eager to give it a try. If you can successfully challenge yourself, your position in the Xuanling Sect will be completely elevated in the future. From then on, it is not impossible to gain the favor of the sect and receive key cultivation from the sect. Squeezing through the crowd, Fang Wutrace also saw clearly the list on the leaderboard. This is a disciple from the top 100 in terms of sect strength. Fang Wuchen glanced slightly at the names on the leaderboard. Well, I don't have myself. However, it doesn't matter if Fang Wuhen is there. He doesn't envy the cultivation resources possessed by these elite disciples. After all, the cultivation resources possessed by Fang Wuchen are unimaginable even to these elite disciples. Luo there are several familiar names on the leaderboard. Ranking 20th, Luo Ling. After only 1 year of joining the sect, Luo Ling had already ranked 20th within the sect. There is also a particularly familiar name. Yichen. Fang Wuchen looked at the name and a strange light flashed in his eyes. 3 years ago, he teamed up with Elder Liu to frame Fang Wuchen. He was expelled from the sect. Today we can challenge the disciples on the leaderboard. Since that's the case, let's count the old and new grudges together. A cold smile appeared on Fang Wuchen's face. Today, no matter what, he will take care of Yichen. At this moment, Fang Wuchen felt a cold gaze. Fang Wuchen turned around and saw an old man staring at him with great hatred. It's Liu. Since being expelled from the core circle of the sect, he has been holding a grudge against him without any trace. How can he remain calm now that he has encountered Fang Wuchen again here? Fang Wuchen's gaze swept over Liu, but there was only a faint indifference in his gaze. Liu's strength has already plummeted. For such a character, Fang Wuheng has no interest in even addressing him. However, next to Liu, there stood a young man in white, who gave Fang Wuheng a curious glance. Yichen, he is Fang Wuhen. Liu gritted his teeth and said to Yichen. Of course I know. Yichen nodded lightly, wondering how he could be unfamiliar with Fang Wutrace. If there's a chance later, I'll get rid of him. Yichen said. Just taking a glance at Fang Wuchen, Yichen left this place directly. Today, there are many people challenging elite disciples. Shortly after arriving at the Crimson Peak, Luo Ling met the first person to challenge her. Are you sure you want to challenge me? Luo Ling looked at the man in front of him and asked with some suspicion. This man is around 30 years old, but his cultivation is still in the later stage of practicing qi. It can almost be said that he is not a match for Lorraine at all. Give it a try. The man said with a bitter smile. He has been in the Xuanling Sect for more than 10 years. But he is still an ordinary disciple, and his cultivation has not broken through for many years. Today is an excellent opportunity, if he can defeat Luo Ling. So many times the cultivation resources should be enough for him to break through the bottleneck. Come on, Luo Ling didn't say much nonsense. The two quickly arrived at the final stage. The result is naturally no surprise. The man was defeated by Luo Ling in just a few moves. Let's go down, Luo Ling said to the man as he collected his sword. The middle-aged man walked down the stage with a grim expression on his face. Next, several more disciples will challenge Luo Ling. Although Luo Ling is an elite disciple, he has only been in the sect for a year. Many people hold a lucky mentality and want to defeat her. Of course, in the end, their outcome was similar to that of the previous man. He was easily defeated by Luo Ling. Senior brother Lin, I want to challenge you. At this moment, a young man holding a sword said to Yichen. Although he is not very old, he has only entered the sect for a year. But with outstanding talent, I now have the strength to build a foundation. Just rely on you. Yichen gave the young man a contemptuous glance. Please have senior brother Lin fight with me. Ignoring Yichen's gaze, the young man clasped his fists and said. Yichen ranks among the top elite disciples, and he wants to rise to fame by challenging him. Since that's the case, come up now. Stepping onto the battlefield, Yichen said coldly. But he never glanced at the boy again. Knowing that he was being looked down upon, the young man gritted his teeth and also arrived at the battlefield. Senior brother Lin, please teach me. After the young man finished speaking, he held his long sword and launched an attack. He has always been hardworking and has become proficient in the swordsmanship of Xuanling Sect. Yichen slowly wiped his sword and stared fiercely at the young man. A faint demonic aura quietly bypassed the sword body. In this scene, Yichen did it very discreetly, even everyone present did not see it clearly. Bang! Just as the boy approached Yichen decisively drew his sword. This sword is aimed at the young man's throat. One blow to the throat. Puff! The young man was bleeding and conscripted, looking at Yichen. Isn't this a challenge for sect disciples? Why would senior brother Lin use a killing move against him? This kind of strength is really not worth looking at. Shaking his head, Yichen wiped away the bloodstains on his sword. I didn't take a second glance at the young man. Dead. Dead people. The young man fell, and this scene shook everyone present. No one would have thought that someone would dare to kill in public today. Not only the disciples of Xuanling Sect watching the battle, but also on the nearby elder's seat. Everyone was also shocked. Yichen is really bold, he dares to kill. Lu Chongling was furious and then looked at Liu not far away. Liu, is this the disciple you taught? Do you even dare to kill in public now? The sect leader calmed down, and now that we have entered the decisive stage, it could have been considered a life and death battle. And there are no regulations, so Yichen cannot kill the disciples who challenge him, right? Liu said lightly at this moment. He didn't take the words of the sect leader to heart. Anyway, after a while, he will find an opportunity to leave Xuanling Sect. How could he care about the life and death of Xuanling Sect's disciples? Chapter 7. I will send you to meet your brother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Do you know that young man just now is a key disciple trained by the sect? If there were no accidents, he could have become an elite disciple of the sect. At this moment, Ziyun stared coldly at Liu. She has always been paying attention to the disciple who was killed by Yichen before. I thought the other party would take advantage of this opportunity to soar and step into the ranks of elite monster disciples. But unexpectedly, the other party was mercilessly killed by Yichen. Elder Ziyun, once you step onto the battlefield, life and death are beyond your control. Besides, Yichen didn't mean it on purpose. Liu still smiled. He has been feeling extremely frustrated these days, so his words have become even more unrestrained. You. Elder Ziyun was angry. Accidents are inevitable in the confrontation. Moreover, if someone can defeat Yichen now, I naturally have nothing to say. Liu continued to speak without any regard for Elder Ziyun. Alright, let's continue with the competition. Lu Chongling waved his hand, indicating that the two no longer needed to argue. At this moment, Fang Wuchen witnessed with his own eyes the entire process of Yichen killing the young man just now. Although the other party concealed everyone present when using magic techniques. But it couldn't hide it from Fang Wutrace. He frowned slightly and was about to take the stage. But a figure flew by quickly, and he stepped onto the battlefield first. It was a young man in his 20s who stared at Yichen with indifference. It's senior brother Zhao Lin. I heard that senior brother Zhao Lin has been in the sect for 5 years and now has a strength comparable to that of the middle period of building foundation. Although he is not an elite disciple yet, his strength still meets the requirements. It seems that senior brother Zhao Lin wants to become an elite disciple of the sect by defeating senior brother Lin. Many disciples who watched the battle knew the young man who had just stepped onto the stage. Everyone became excited. Senior brother Lin, my current strength may not even match yours. Zhao Lin looked at Lin Yichen lightly and said. Although Lin Yichen's achievements just now gave him some shock. But if he were to confront Lin Yichen, he could be confident that he had an 80% chance of defeating him. Come on, Lin Yichen said indifferently without talking to him. Zhao Lin's expression froze for a moment, but he didn't say anything more. He had already observed Lin Yichen's combat style before. The other party's move was very decisive. He killed it directly. I need to act faster than him and seize the opportunity. In an instant, he suddenly took action. In a showdown, having an advantage is very important. If you have an advantage, you have an extra chance of winning. So Zhao Lin decided to seize this opportunity. Zhao Lin is very domineering and his attack is exceptionally rapid. Lin Yichen, on the other hand, was wielding a sword and responding to this move that came from all over the sky. One powerful move after another fell on Lin Yichen. At this moment, everyone present watched the battle on stage in surprise. Because at this moment, Lin Yichen seemed to have fallen behind. It's completely different from the way it used to be a one-shot kill. It seems that at this moment, Lin Yichen was beaten so much that he didn't even have a chance to launch a counterattack. Seeing this, Zhao Lin's smile grew even stronger on his face. He believed that if he could continue to suppress Lin Yichen's fight, at most 100 rounds, he can defeat Lin Yichen. The means are good. If you challenge others, you may become an elite disciple. But unfortunately, you have to challenge me. Lin Yichen sneered, his true reliance is on the heavenly demon technique. The difference in combat power between using magic skills and not using magic skills can be said to be a cloud of mud. If it weren't for his magic skills, he wouldn't necessarily be Zhao Lin's opponent today. So, without hesitation, he activated the magic within his body. Quietly, Mo Gong suppressed Zhao Lin, who was crazily attacking. He has treasures on his body that can conceal some magical energy, so if it's just a little bit of magic, it is difficult for those who watch the battle to see anything unusual. Zhao Lin realized something was wrong. Lin Yichen in front of him is in a very abnormal state. This state can only be seen by the evil spirits he encounters while carrying out missions down the mountain, or by the disciples of the Demon Sect. You are a demon. Zhao Lin wanted to shout loudly, but his throat seemed to be pinched by something. Even the sound emitted is very small. It's not enough to remind everyone present. It's good you know, but unfortunately you discovered it too late. Lin Yichen's ferocious smile. Zhao Lin was also very decisive, even if he wanted to head towards the direction of the elders' platform. As long as the elders of the sect are aware, then he has a chance to live. Unfortunately, Lin Yichen did not want to give him this opportunity. He twisted his neck decisively. Blood flowed down his neck, and Zhao Lin lost all breath. What? Lin Yichen killed another person. At this moment, Lu Chongling couldn't sit still anymore. How long has it been since Lin Yichen killed 2 people? If he continues, will he be willing to kill all those who challenge him? Master, please be calm and not impatient. Yichen's move is nothing but a way of establishing power. If we don't use some means, wouldn't everyone dare to challenge like Yichen? Li Yu remained calm and smiled faintly. Li Yu, if you say one more word, I'll tear your mouth open. Lu Chongling angrily said. Upon hearing this, Li Yu quickly covered his mouth. I was a bit complacent just now. I'm afraid the sect leader will really get angry and tear open his mouth. Let Lin Yichen step down, we can't let him continue the competition. Lu Chongling waved his hand and instructed. He also found today's competition very strange. Is there any unknown secret about Lin Yichen? Master, someone has stepped on stage to challenge. At this moment, an elder exclaimed in surprise. Before he could convey Lu Chongling's order, another young man stepped onto the stage. Fang Wutrace. Looking at the familiar figure, Lu Chongling also hesitated for a moment. He didn't expect Fang Wuchen to step onto the battlefield at this moment. Is he not afraid of Lin Yichen? Master, do you need to interrupt the battle? At this moment, an elder asked. Let's take a look at how Fang Wutrace responds first. Lu Changling's attention completely fell on Fang Wutrace. Lin Yichen had already killed 2 disciples before, and this is a warning from the past. Fang Wuchen still dares to step onto the stage. I believe there must be sufficient countermeasures. Lu Changling wants to see how Fang Wuheng will deal with Lin Yichen. On the battlefield. Lin Yichen looked at Fang Wuchen with a grim smile and said, I didn't expect you to dare to challenge yourself on stage. But just right, you killed my younger brother, and today I will avenge him. Your younger brother provoked me, and I don't hesitate to die. As for you, you framed me 3 years ago, and today I will let you go see your younger brother. Fang Wuchen said. He is not afraid of Lin Yichen. Lin Yichen is very clear about his bottom cards. Chapter 8. Lin Yichen's Reliance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Talking nonsense. My trump card, but now you can't imagine it. Lin Yichen looked confidently at Fang Wuchen. Is that right? Fang Wuchen pouted and pursed his lips. Isn't it just the heavenly demon technique? I also have it. Come on. After Lin Yichen finished speaking, he didn't want to say another word to Fang Wuheng for a moment. Since Fang Wuchen returned to the sect a while ago, Lin Yichen has been constantly planning to kill him. It has been detected that the move used by Lin Yichen at this time is the sword technique of Xuanling Sect, but it has not yet reached the level of proficiency. With the host's strength, it is easy to counterattack. At the moment when Lin Yichen took action, the system pointed out the techniques and moves used by Lin Yichen. Surprisingly, you didn't use the Huntian Mo Gong immediately. Fang Wuchen shook his head. Lin Yichen dared not use the heavenly demon technique in public. Since that's the case, then I'll force Lin Yichen to use magic skills. In the battle of the final battle platform, if there is any abnormality in Lin Yichen, there will be senior officials from the sect observing the battle. So waiting for his fate will be very tragic. Looking at Lin Yichen with a crazy and cruel smile on his face, Fang Wuchen decisively drew his sword. At that time, when killing Lin Yichen's younger brother, Fang Wuchen only used 30% of his martial arts skills. Lin Yichen has a higher cultivation level than Lin Yibai, but there is no need for Fang Wuchen to give it his all. 5 successful forces are sufficient. Suddenly, Lin Yichen's original smile froze, and a bright sword light suddenly appeared before his eyes. A shocking expression suddenly appeared on his face. Fang Wutrace's strength, as he had speculated before, may indeed be very strong. Otherwise, both Li Yu and his younger brother would not have been defeated by him. However, he was able to calmly respond to his own attack. At this moment, he even felt a fear from the depths of his heart. It seems that if this sword falls, I am afraid that I will be executed on the spot. In a crisis, Lin Yichen decisively activated the magic that had originally been hidden by himself. Of course, in order to cover up, he still only operates a small part of his magic. Lin Yichen has started to use the magic technique. Please be careful when dealing with it. Without the need for system reminders, Fang Wutrace can still be seen. He is closest to Lin Yichen, and he can tell at a glance what's unusual about him. What is Lin Yichen's weakness in the system? Fang Wutrace asked. Lin Yichen's mixed heavenly demon skill has been cultivated to a small level, but currently Lin Yichen relies on the heavenly ring jade on his chest to cover it up. Blocked the spread of magic, the system continues to remind. At this point, Fang Wutrace noticed. On Lin Yichen's chest, he was indeed wearing an antique jade pendant. He thought it was just a decoration, so he didn't take it to heart. Now it seems that this thing has great potential. That is to say, all I need to do is destroy this jade pendant. So, Lin Yichen will no longer be able to suppress his magic. At least, those people at the elders' table can see clearly what kind of person Lin Yichen is. Thinking of this, Fang Wuheng immediately made up his mind. Faced with Lin Yichen's soaring tactics, he still didn't care. But he lit his sword, and then a cold light flashed through the tip of the sword. With this sword, he decisively thrust it out. The target is the jade pendant on Lin Yichen's chest. What? Lin Yichen was stunned by Fang Wutrace's move. What does the other person mean by this move? Is his goal? Suddenly, Lin Yichen realized. Is his goal his own Xuanhuan? Lin Yichen's face was very ugly. 3 years ago, Fang Wuchen was able to see through his identity as a demon cultivator. Perhaps at that time, it would have been discovered without any trace. I rely on the heavenly ring jade to hide until now. So today he confronted himself with the purpose of destroying the Xuanhuan jade. I won't let you succeed, you must die. Lin Yichen roared loudly. If Xuanhuan were gone, his life would indeed come to an end today. No matter what, he can't let this happen. So he bravely retreated from the current. Prepared to avoid the attack of Fang Wutrace. As long as the Xuanhuan jade is preserved, then everything else is easy to say. No big deal, slow down your attack first and give Fang Wutrace a chance to barely survive. Lin Yichen's idea is very good, but unfortunately. As soon as he stepped back, he revealed his flaws. So Fang Wuchen changed his attack without hesitation, and the tip of his sword was about to reach the jade pendant. In an instant, he turned in an exaggerated arc and the target was Lin Yichen's right arm. Blood splattered everywhere, and Lin Yichen's right arm was chopped off by Fang Wuchen. Ah! Lin Yichen let out a crazy wail. The intense pain almost made him faint. His action ensured the protection of Xuanhuan. But the cost is my right arm. With just this little skill, how can you still stay in Xuanling Sect for so long? Fang Wuchen looked at Lin Yichen, who was about to go crazy after suffering successfully, and shook his head disdainfully. The strength of the other party makes it difficult for him to face them head-on. This scene made Li Yu at the elders' table grit his teeth in hatred. He wouldn't even dream that his only reliance now was his disciple Lin Yichen, who had been there for less than 10 minutes. Surprisingly, Fang Wuchen cut off one of his right arms. I can't even see through the strength of my disciple before he was deposed. Why was your right arm so easily cut off now? If it continues like this, the defeat has been decided. If things continue like this, Lin Yichen may be killed by Fang Wuchen on the battlefield. No matter what, we can't let this situation happen. He immediately said to the sect leader Lu Chongling, Sect leader, Yichen is now seriously injured. I don't have the strength to fight anymore, why not stop the competition now? Upon hearing Li Yu's words, Lu Chongling's face showed a hint of disgust, when Lin Yichen killed 2 people before. Why don't you say that? Now that Lin Yichen has fallen into a disadvantage, do you want to keep him? Li Yu gritted his teeth and said, anyway, Yichen is also an elite disciple of the sect. If he dies, it will be a great loss to the sect. This made all the elders present want to laugh. Lu Chongling took a breath and suppressed his anger, saying, isn't the person Lin Yichen killed before not a disciple of the sect? The battlefield is already a place where life and death are determined, and the competition cannot be stopped with these 2 words from you. But the Lord. That's enough. Before Li Yu could speak, Lu Chongling said coldly, Li Yu, now you have been deprived of the right to participate in sect decision-making. If you dare to continue to exceed your authority, I will also take away your sect elder identity. Chapter 9. Lin Yichen's Magic Body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes. Li Yu suppressed his anger and could only surrender. He is aware of the sect leader's temper. If he dares to say one more word, the sect leader will definitely strip him of his elder status. Silence reignited at the elder's seat. The attention of the crowd returned to the battlefield. They are all looking forward to the final outcome of this battle. If Fang Wuchen kills Lin Yichen, That's okay. Lu Chongling thought to herself. Although Lin Yichen was very stunning, he had brutally killed 2 disciples of the Xuanling Sect before. Moreover, Fang Wutrace's talent is clearly even more outstanding. The hatred between Fang Wuheng and Lin Yichen has no room for maneuver. So between the 2 of them, only one person will eventually walk out of the arena alive. Brother Fang, come on, make sure to kill Lin Yichen. Lin Yichen killed the disciples of the sect. Brother Fang must avenge them. Many of the disciples know the 2 people who were killed just now. They are all cheering on Fang Wutrace at this moment. I hope Fang Wutrace can avenge them. Did you see that? If you dare to kill someone in Xuanling Sect, you will inevitably offend many people. Do you think I should kill you now? Or should we first draw out your demonic energy and then publicly slay you? Fang Wutrace said lightly. Just because of you, you also want to kill me. It seems that you still don't understand the truly terrifying aspect of the heavenly demon technique. At this point, Lin Yichen had already regained his emotions. If he is doomed, he must also take Fang Wutrace with him. Even if he is about to die, let Fang Wuchen be buried with him. Ignorance. Fang Wuchen shook his head and then waved his long sword in his hand. This time, he once again took action against Lin Yichen. At this moment, Lin Yichen was furious and activated a small part of the magic in his body. However, Xuanhuan can still conceal his demonic aura. Bang! Suddenly, a crisp sound of shattering came out. The tip of Fang Wutrace's sword hit the Xuanhuan jade on Lin Yichen's chest. Immediately after, the jade pendant was completely shattered. I thought for a moment, it's better for you to completely expose your identity before you die. Fang Wuchen revealed a brilliant and cruel smile. In the next moment, the demonic energy surged to the sky. Without the cover of Xuanhuan, Lin Yichen could not control the spread of demonic energy completely. At this moment, let alone the elders on the elder's seat. Even ordinary disciples feel the pressure of this demonic aura. What? Senior Lin actually practiced magic skills. How terrifying. A person who has practiced magic skills has stayed in Xuanling Sect for so long. I heard that senior brother Fang was expelled from the sect before. Is it because he knew Lin Yichen's secret before? Many disciples showed signs of fear. Even Luo Ling in the distance showed a dull expression. So just now, senior brother Fang was in a decisive battle with such a monster. On Mount Chiming, anyone who witnesses all of this is amazed by their disciples. They have known Lin Yichen for such a long time, but no one can see his abnormality. Li Yu, this is the good disciple you have taught. You have taken in 2 disciples in your lifetime, but both of them are demonic cultivators. Lu Chongling looked coldly at Li Yu. Master, spare your life. I really didn't know he was a demon cultivator. Li Yu knelt down with despair on his face. It's all over now. Humph. Lu Chongling ignored him, the most important thing at the moment. It is to suppress Lin Yichen on the battlefield first. If Fang Wuhen were to take action, it would probably be more ominous than good. Although Fang Wuchen had killed Lin Yibai, who was also a demon cultivator, before returning to the sect. But Lin Yichen's cultivation is obviously incomparable to Lin Yibai's. Fang Wuheng may not necessarily be Lin Yichen's opponent. At this moment, Fang Wuchen looked at Lin Yichen calmly and confidently. This is what you forced me to do. If it weren't for you, in a few years, I would be able to bring down Xuanling Sect from within. Originally, our Demon Sect could easily defeat Xuanling Sect without any effort. But it was because of your appearance that everything changed. Lin Yichen said fiercely. Since his identity has been exposed, he doesn't have much to worry about. Is that right? Fang Wuchen remained calm, and all of this was within his expectations. He doesn't have much feeling about the survival or demise of Xuanling Sect. It's just that Lin Yichen completely eradicated him at the beginning, so he came back this time. Lin Yichen must also be eliminated. Boom! Lin Yichen's body suddenly swelled wildly, and in an instant, it became a nearly 5-meter demon body. It seems that when you were practicing the mixed demon technique, you even sacrificed yourself. Fang Wuchen looked at the demon body and said. He is also very familiar with the heavenly demon technique. Of course I understand. If I were to cultivate the heavenly demon technique normally, such a mutation would not have occurred. The only thing that can be said is that Lin Yichen not only practiced the heavenly demon technique. He even introduced the demonic energy of the mixed heaven-demon technique into his own source of life. Doing so can indeed greatly enhance one's own strength. However, if it is backfired, its soul will also be completely corroded. Just like Lin Yichen in front of me. But so what? Fang Wuchen shook his head. If there was any difference between the current Lin Yichen and the evil spirits he had killed before in Tailing Town. It's just about having a larger body and higher cultivation. It's just not possible to kill with just one sword at will. However, Fang Wuchen remains confident and can only wield a few more swords. At this moment, several elders of the sect landed on the battlefield. Lu Chongling also appeared next to Fang Wuchen. Please step back and leave Lin Yichen to us for handling. Lu Chongling quickly reminded the other party without any trace. He doesn't believe that Fang Wuchen still has the strength to fight against the current Lin Yichen. No need. Fang Wuchen waved his hand and said, "Don't bother everyone, I want to personally kill Lin Yichen." You. Lu Chongling glanced at Fang Wuchen, not that he underestimated her. The demon body in front of me is truly frightening. If it were just based on the borrower's absence, would it really be Lin Yichen's opponent now? Lu Chongling wants to continue what the other party said without leaving a trace. But at this moment, Fang Wutrace's figure had already disappeared in place. He came directly to Lin Yichen. You are overestimating yourself. Lin Yichen sneered. He didn't expect Fang Wuchen to have so much courage. Just rushed over directly. Ding! After Lin Yichen became a demon, his cultivation skyrocketed dozens of times. Please be more careful, host. Lin Yichen's only weakness now is at the center of his eyebrows. As long as the host can strike his eyebrows, his magic skills can be completely dissipated. The system prompts the current weaknesses of Lin Yichen. Chapter 10. Dust Settling. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. His weakness is at the center of his eyebrows. Fang Wutrace muttered to himself. Looking at Lin Yichen's demonic body, at this moment, there was a lot of demonic energy swirling around his eyebrows. It seems that a small magic formation resembling a life-saving formation has formed unintentionally. Roughly speaking, Lin Yichen's eyebrows were impenetrable, and if you were to fight against him, he would definitely overlook this spot. But Fang Wuhen knew Lin Yichen's weakness. Knowing that the forehead will be his weakest point. Just break through the small magic formation formed by magic energy. At this moment, Fang Wuheng drew his sword directly. Cut towards the small magic formation at the center of the eyebrow. What? Lin Yichen's heart flashed with a hint of panic. The other party seems to be able to see through his weaknesses. Is it a coincidence? Previously, my Xuanhuan was also exposed by Fang Wutrace. And now his only weakness after becoming a demon body, he thought he had hidden it deep enough. But it seems that Fang Wuchen just glanced at him and locked in his weakness. How could this be possible? Kill! Lin Yichen roared, no matter what, he must first kill Fang Wuchen before speaking. Fang Wutrace is still neither tight nor slow. The huge blood hand grabbed towards Fang Wutrace, like a demon from hell. However, Fang Wutrace's goal remained steadfast, and the sword's intent was ethereal. In an instant, it touched the center of Lin Yichen's eyebrows. Humph. There are many demonic energies blocking my forehead, so I don't believe he can kill me. Lin Yichen let out a cold snort in his heart. He didn't believe that Fang Wutrace would be strong enough to ignore his magic defense. So, his bloody hand slapped directly at Fang Wumen's body. I want to twist Fang Wumen's body directly. Shine. Suddenly, Fang Wutrace's sword pierced through and fell as soon as it touched the demonic energy. The thick layer of magic defense was like a paper painting at this moment. It cannot stop the attack without any trace. Click. At this moment, it seemed that a weak object had been pierced by Fang Wuchen's sword. A blood hole appeared at the center of Lin Yichen's eyebrows. Within the demon's body, a jet black gas drifted out. And that dark black gas, at this moment, was just condensing. Is this a demon baby? Watching the battle, Lu Chongling was stunned for a moment, and he immediately recognized what it was. Ding, the host has already forced Lin Yichen's demon baby out. If you eliminate the demon infant, the mixed heaven demon skill will be directly increased to a small achievement. Fang Wuchen was still wondering what exactly that demon baby was, and while hesitating, suddenly heard the system. This reminder. So, he no longer hesitated and decisively swung his sword to kill the demon baby. Hiss. With one sword, the demon baby completely disintegrated. Ah! Did the demon baby get chopped directly? Lu Chongling and all the elders on the side were shocked. The demon baby has no body and is a very ethereal existence. So, physical attacks are generally against magic babies. It has no effect. If you want to eliminate the demon baby, you must form a magic formation and use your magic to gradually consume the demon baby. As a result, Fang Wutrace ended the demon baby with just one sword. How was this achieved? It seems to have gone against common sense. Congratulations on killing Lin Yichen's demon infant. The system has automatically cultivated your mixed heaven demon skill to the level of Xiaocheng. The system said in Fang Wutrace's mind. The huge demon body collapsed straight down after losing its vitality. The entire showdown platform is one shock. With Lin Yichen's words dying, everyone present was boiling. Fang Wuchen regained his senses and saw Lu Chongling and the elders who were feeling a bit sluggish at the moment. No trace, how did you kill the demon baby just now? As the head of the Xuanling Sect, Lu Chongling quickly realized and quickly grabbed Fang Wuchen's hand, asking after him. His tone was very urgent, he had never seen so many stunning scenes before. So he wants to know the answer. Magic baby. Fang Wuchen said strangely, didn't I cut him off with one sword? It's strange because it was chopped by your sword. Lu Chongling sighed and explained, after the demon baby has separated from its body, it is already an intangible thing. If you want to slay it with one sword, it's simply impossible. The only way to kill it is through the use of arrays, I see. Fang Wuchen nodded thoughtfully. He didn't consider this. Looking at the elders present, as well as Lu Chongling, they were all looking at themselves with serious and curious eyes. Fang Wuchen sighed and said, I killed the evil spirit for at least 3 years in the town of Treading Spirit Cage before. The evil spirits encountered are also diverse, and occasionally killing a non-physical evil spirit like a demon baby is also normal. So naturally, I have a way to deal with it. After hearing Fang Wuchen's words, the elders present. Everyone nodded quietly. Fang Wuchen's words. That's true. Lu Chongling looked at Fang Yuanwu and couldn't see anything unusual about her. He also believed it. Lin Yichen has a demon baby, which indicates his position in the Demon Sect. It's not simple. This time you killed him, the Imperial Demon Sect should soon notice, Lu Chongling said. Fang Wuchen remained silent and had no worries about this matter. Of course, you are a disciple of my Xuanling Sect. If the Demon Sect wants to take action against you, I, Xuanling Sect, will take action against them as soon as possible. It seems that Fang Wutrace is afraid, said Lu Chongling with concern. Fang Wuchen nodded slightly and killed Lin Yichen himself, although it was to seek revenge. But from a certain perspective, it also solved a huge hidden danger for Xuanling Sect in the future. If the leader Lu Chongling doesn't say anything, it's definitely unacceptable. Lu Chongling looked around and found that most of his disciples were still staying here. He instructed Ziyun, "Alright, Elder Ziyun, have someone carry Lin Yichen's body away. Let's continue the competition, okay?" Elder Ziyun nodded and gave orders from Lu Chongling. Soon, several disciples came over and together they lifted Lin Yichen's body down. The order within Chiming Peak quickly returned to its previous state. "Master, Li Yu wanted to escape and was caught by us." At this moment, someone came to tell Lu Chongling about this matter. He is an elite disciple of Xuanling Sect, named Huang Tian. "Master, spare my life. I really didn't mean to escape." Li Yu was afraid and had been kneeling down begging for mercy since seeing Lu Chongling. The once towering elder of Xuanling Sect is now like a dog, constantly begging Lu Chongling for his life. "No trace, what do you think should be done with Li Yu?" Lu Chongling ignored Li Yu and directly asked Fang Wuchen.